And Mark is here just in case anybody needs to show up in person and you want to turn back. It's a good time to do it. Mark can handle that. All right, let's get started and let's share anything exciting. Anybody got some good news, good vibe? That camera's really close. It's going to get really close on Kibra and Sharon here in a few minutes. Share something exciting.
We're getting fewer offers on our listings.
And why would that be good news?
Because there's more.
You know what?
More listings for buyers to choose.
Okay. And how many offers does it take to sell a home?
One.
Just one. Okay, cool. So as long as you are getting an offer, that's the key thing as a listing agent. Okay. Anybody else got something exciting to share? Can be online too. If you unmute yourself, we can hear you. Anything exciting? Personal? Business? Send your kids back to school? Some are still waiting. Send your kids off to college. I got 2 down, 2 not. My wife's a mess right now, but it'll be all right. It's kind of sad though, isn't it right? Life. Time stands still for no one. Okay. Anything else? What you got? Getting married next year. Really? Cool. Congratulations. All right. Okay. Awesome. When's the party? You'll plan it. Exactly. Awesome. All right. Anybody else? Come on in. Come on in. Party's just starting. Anybody else got anything exciting? All right. No big deal. I got stuff exciting. I was reading this book. It's called Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Maybe you've heard of it, right? And I was reading some of my favorite section, or maybe just that season of life, is the myth understandings. And here are points to remember that I just think are timeless, right? Just to remember. I bet you'll hear them today. The first point was, you need to examine your beliefs, search for the truths, and abandon your myths. That's your programming. Some of them we have to change our programming, and it's usually the address that we grew up at that really has an effect on your programming. The next one is, people are succeeding at high levels, and so can you. You believe that? Yeah. Just because it's never been done in your market doesn't mean it's impossible to achieve. Get a big plan that matches your market and go for it. Next one, there is only so much time and effort you can give. A big dream doesn't necessarily mean more time and effort. You just have to focus and apply yourself differently. Growing your sales business is not inherently more risky than staying where you are. The risk of inaction is often greater than the risk of action. Let me read that again. The risk of inaction is often greater than the risk of action. You must understand your costs, hold them accountable for the results, and keep moving forward. Next one, if you have defined standards and can teach them to others, you can delegate work and gain leverage. You need to grow. Remember, customers are actually loyal to the service standards you represent, not just to you. I hear that often. They only want to work with me. That is a myth. They want to work with you because the standards that you represent. And the last one is, failure is nothing to be feared. The very best of us have used failures as a stepping stones on the path to ultimate success. The only true failures is quitting and not trying at all. That's on page 64 for a recap on all the myths. Pretty solid. I wonder when those will go, when that will not apply in the world we live in. No, those are just timeless classic truths, right, over time. Okay, fantastic. I got the clicker. Let's jump into it. We got a very, very busy August in the next couple of weeks. Next week is what? Well, I know the staff knows. I was wondering if any agents knew. Okay, that's good. The staff knows. All right, a couple of things that we're gonna highlight, a few things coming up. Already got that. Skipping all these people. They say, oh yeah, Chris is not skipping Krista, but we'll share it. This is our Laura report, sharing what's going on in the market. Because we have some stories that are going on, and here's some actual things. Krista, you want to explain them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Great. So yeah, we're starting to see a few changes in the market. I've heard from a handful of our top agents that the offers on listings are slowing down a little bit. I think Audra mentioned the other week, instead of having 10 offers in 3 days, you're having 3 offers in 10 days or something like that. Maybe not quite to that extreme. So we look at what are the trends of our office. From June to July, we actually saw a decrease in the number of listings that we were taking in our office, decreased month over month by 16%. We need more listings. Our office needs more listings. Like, that's a common theme we've heard over and over, and we still need more listings. Listing contracts written, what I have up here, this is a year-to-date number. Year-to-date, we're looking strong still. This is the number you're going to share with clients, with potential sellers and buyers, right? Year-to-date, we're outpacing the market. We had a 40% increase over last year. The market in Fort Bend only had a 32% increase, right? So that's the number we're going to share. The message that you need to take away is we need more listings. We're selling them. We're getting them under contract. Like, our agents are doing the work. They're getting them sold. We need to get more listings. Next slide, please.
Norman, it froze up on me. You don't have me on it.
Wow. And then we had, when we get contracts, we sell the listings, right? So we had an increase year to date of listings sold 57%. This is volume, right? The units did see an increase as well. It just wasn't as large. So I like to highlight the big increases because these are the ones you're going to share with your clients. The local Fort Bend market only saw a 38% increase. This is year to date, right? And then we look at total closed volume. We had a 50% increase over last year, year to date. The local market only had a 38.6% increase. So it's still a really good story to tell, and we need more listings. And
all right. If you want to find these slides and you want to put them to use, where do you find them, Mark?
Right there.
Okay, that's one place. Anybody else want the other place?
yeah,
Krista emails them to you because why? Because you follow them on KW Connect, and if you follow Krista on KW Connect, and then it will alert you when you have things.
yeah. So everyone that followed me got an email already this morning. It's in your inbox. That's the easiest way to do it. You just plug and play, stick it in your listing presentation, buyer consultation. Go ahead and edit this one to have your information and picture on it. Take it to the open houses. Take it while you're door knocking. This is the evidence that clients want to do business with our agents because our agents deliver results.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. All right, let's jump into our busy week, and then we're going to jump right into our interview today. We have another, what was the theme we're calling it? Summertime vibe.
You gotta add a little bit more flavor to that, Chad. It's not summertime vibe. It's summertime.
All right, we got a happy hour, all right? And this is on, we've did one in Sugar Land. We went out to Richmond, and now we're going to Missouri City. So we don't feel like we favor one side of the town than another. So this one is on Thursday night. Starts at what time? 5 o'clock.
That's
tomorrow.
y'all.
Join us. Last
It's our
time of
last
summer.
one for the summer.
There you
Come
go.
on out. We've had great turnouts this entire summertime, so we are glad that you guys are there. I know for those of you who come out, you have a great time, right? So come on through.
Okay, join us. Yes. We'll
Mark, you gonna be there?
We'll get you a beverage.
Have you heard of this place? Rings a bell.
I didn't select it.
No, it's just, it's in there.
It's a good one.
It's just normal water.
The drinks are cold if you want them cold. Okay. Yes.
That was a millennial that said that, you guys, so you know.
All right, next thing, Mega Agent Camp kickoff. We do know Mega Agent Camp is virtual, and yet we're getting together for one kind of morning session to watch together in a theater. So we'd ask for you to do two things, right? First is register for that event on the theater so we know how many people are going to show up. It'll be safe. We'll space you out, right? It'll be in a great thing, but it gives us an opportunity to come together. And if you've ever really been to Mega Agent Camp and you get there late, what are you doing anyways? You're watching it on the screen because you can't even see the So we're just coming together. We love for you to join us. 9:30 be there. That starts at 10 o'clock. And that is at Star Cinema Grill toward Richmond. We're sharing the cost with Signature, so it brings two offices together. They'll have one theater, we'll have another, but we'll kind of intermix along the way. So join us for that. And we're asking you, go ahead and register and get you a ticket. If you register by today or tomorrow, you can get an exclusive interview with Gary Keller and Kendra Scott. And if you ever had Kendra Scott in an interview, she's fantastic. Everybody know what Kendra Scott is? It's jewelry. My wife likes it. I got to go there every time on my birthday to get a discount to buy her a gift.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that interesting how the world works?
You go
For
with
men.
her. Mine actually just yanks the driver's license.
Okay. Yeah, I have to go and get her the discount on my birthday for her jewelry. I'm excited too. All right. Anyways, that's a great interview. A few years ago, I don't know how she spoke at a luxury event and how she built a big business. And she'll start at the beginning where she started out door knocking to build her business, right? She made her jewelry and she just paved the pavement. Awesome story on business along the way. So join us for that. Make sure you register. Make sure you register for the virtual piece as well. And then after it's all done, we're going to have a happy hour as well, winding down. That way you can drink this week before it gets started and you can drink after it's over as well. And just come hang out.
Call it
Celebrating. All right, great. I'm going to move right along. We got a busy day. I got two sisters that are going to talk to them. I call them sisters because if you ever sit them together, they bicker and argue just like they're two sisters. But two people that have been in it, Sharon Parker and Kimbra V, are going to come up and they're going to share a little bit. Come on up. And I call this the importance of persistence and determination in real estate. And if you haven't heard their story before, it's fantastic. Continue to do it. One is they've been at this office and given back as well. What do you want to do? You want to stand in the middle and you got to make sure.
Hit each other.
Yeah, that's right. We can celebrate it. Okay, so here's how we'd like to start it out. In a brief version as you can, just tell us a little bit your story, your background, a little bit before the real estate career took off. Who wants to go first? We'll let you go first. You got a good story, not like hers. Yes.
I come from the restaurant business. So I managed Red Lobster for 16 years, in case anybody know about Red Lobster. I was assaulted at gunpoint. So being assaulted at gunpoint turned my whole life around and led me in a different direction. And the direction I took was that I end up getting married, then I had a child. And then I was like, okay, I had to put my child in daycare and I realized what was all going on out there. I'm like, oh, I can't do this. Being an older mommy and putting my child in daycare was kind of hard. So then I said, well, I'll just take some classes. And I had taken classes anyway, because once I was assaulted at gunpoint with Red Lobster, they kept me in classes doing things that I wanted to do. And independent counselor was one of them and real estate was the other one. So I said, well, I'll go get my real estate license. So that's what I did. And I got my real estate license. My son was 6 months and he went everywhere with me. So if I went to a listing, he went. And if I went to a buyer, he went. So my clients know my son as from the time he was 6 months. So that's what brought me into real estate. And that's what's been one that I decided to stay in.
Okay, great. Good start. All right, your turn.
I was a very young widowed mother of 3, and I got to a point where I guess it was about 10 years in, I was realizing the Social Security that was kind of helping me run with part-time jobs wasn't going to keep my house and put my kids through school. And I started adding more part-time jobs and felt like I was physically drowning. And then a kindly friend that was a teacher as well let me know that she was working nights, weekends and summers in real estate and supplementing her teacher's income very well. And she encouraged me to pursue that. And I did. And then one of those part-time jobs that was giving me benefits called me up 3 days before my new teacher's contract was supposed to go into play and let me know that they'd cut my hours And that made me not qualify for benefits anymore. And I was like, well, I could have a better chance of making more money and not have benefits if I do more real estate. And so I quit that job and just jumped in. And it's like, no turning back.
Awesome. All right. Tell us about the first year. What did it look like?
Oh, wow.
It was easy, right?
In real estate?
Yes.
Or her first year when I trained her?
Yeah.
Which one?
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay.
Your first year.
My first year in real estate.
And what year was that again?
Gosh, that was 2001.
Okay.
And I actually capped my first year. And I have capped ever since. Then I wanted to go into Bernadette Hurley's team, and I couldn't because they said I was a capper at that time. But really, my first year in real estate was all about just going out there, just passing out cards. I just enjoyed the fact is that I had license and I was thrilled by it. So that's what generated me just going out there, meeting people and passing out my cards. And I really had a real successful first year. Don't know how I did it, but again, it inspired me to keep going.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Your turn. When she stops talking, we got to jump in.
First
Yes.
year, I spent more time on the other side of the desk, coming from a teacher's background. It's like, I need to know everything before I go out and try to be a realtor. And our first annual, what do we call those? The awards.
Anniversaries.
Or no, the first annual celebration we would do in February.
Yeah.
The award for
Yeah.
me was most likely to be in class.
Mm.
And then I finally had a mentor. It's like, you just got to quit that, get out there and do it. And he kind of kicked me in the butt, made me do open houses 3 a weekend until I had enough business to support myself. So it's kind of where I became the open house queen. And I filed a loss my first year. You know, it's expensive to get started in business. And of course I wrote everything off, but
What year was this?
05.
05.
In fact, I couldn't start business for an extra 60 days because my license got hung up in the mail that got lost during that hurricane. And everything shut down. And so I just had to sit there, and that's what classes were awesome to kill time.
What was the
But
hurricane in 05?
was it Rita or? No,
was
Ike was
05?
8. It was Rita. or one of
Rita.
those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
All right. Let's fast forward and then we're going to go back. So what's your business? Give us a glimpse of what your business looks like today.
Today, as of this point in time,
Yeah.
GCI 183, still going strong. I'm up about 42% over last year. So I'm looking at something totally different. My son is on my team. That don't mean much right now. I'm glad he's on his way on the plane to Vegas, so he don't have to hear that, but but he's on his way to Vegas. But really, right now I'm looking at a total, with him being on the team, I got to do things different, more the young folks way. So I'm looking at
Any other leverage pieces that you have today?
What do you mean, like
Virtual
leveraging
assistant,
marketing? Well, I do
transaction
have a
coordinator.
transaction coordinator.
Okay.
I am looking at, she's doing my transaction. She does my marketing. So, and she's in the Philippines.
Okay.
So she's been with me since 2014. And then she left and then she came back in 2016. So that's who's been really keeping me up and going, because, you know, it's hard to do all this yourself. And she keeps me straight and narrow with what's going on and keeping my forms in line and making sure I'm on top of things.
Okay. Awesome. What's your glimpse of your business look like today, Kendra?
I would say I'm disappointed in units. I'm one of those weirdos that I count units instead of total GCI more, but my GCI's finally topped 400. And that's the team, of course, that's not just one little me out there, but I am happy to say it's the unit prices are way up there. So it's coming out okay on that GCI thing.
What's your team look like today?
I am a team of 5 currently, about to drop down to 4. I have a buyer agent that's going to go out independent. But 2 assistants, full-time licensed, and myself and 1 full-time buyer's specialist. And I think we're pretty cohesive, a very family-oriented type of team where we're there to cover for each other so we can have a fuller life outside of real estate. It's kind of the biggest purpose for it. And so I can keep working a lot of remote. I've got a 92-year-old father, needs a lot of my attention, and he lives 5 hours away, and I'm on the road a lot, and there's no Wi-Fi there. That is really a challenge. So.
And your team, your assistant Carla's been with you how long?
Gosh, I think 12 years this year is her
Awesome.
anniversary, which never heard of in real estate. It's very rare you find that kind of loyalty and professionalism. So very happy to have her on board.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's get really into what I want the group to hear from it. So single moms, right? Selling, Kimber skipped over that, widowed at a very young age with 3 young children, right? And there's a power into it as well. There's Dion. Well, we call him Dion, then we called him DJ, and then we went to Dion, right? So he's been with us. And she can tell stories of him going, Mom, why aren't you on the top 20? Are we gonna be okay?
Right.
And listen to that, right? So, but let's go back on the determinations. Tell us, just be real. Tell us about the challenges, right? Tell us about the work that you put in and how you just persevered and made this a sustainable real estate business that you still have today.
Well, before I get flushed, but I just want to tell you guys, when I started, like I say, I skipped over the divorce part. Yes, I did get a divorce, so it made me a single mom. And I was like, well, how am I going to handle all this? So really what I did is I just kept telling myself, yes, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I kept doing it over and over again. And I kept thinking about, because I never wanted to cry in front of my son, never wanted to see me let him down. So it was just a constantly going out there, putting my cards out. I would stay up to 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, just steady working my business, because this business is not an easy business. It is really tough. And a lot of people think that they see the HGTV, they see all this and they think that, oh, this is great. If they can do it, I can do it, And, my goal was when I got a divorce was that I wanted to at least keep consistently 200,000 GCI. And that's what I always aimed for until he graduated in 2018. I said, Lord, just let me keep my income at that until my son graduates, and then I can push forward another direction. And that's what I set my goal to challenge myself. It wasn't about looking at everybody else's. It was what Sharon wanted and what I wanted for my son and how I wanted to keep my household going. So in my eyesight was, okay, well, where can I make the most money? Consistent money. Not just, a lot of money. I just wanted consistent money. So I started with the first-time home buyers. And I said, well, everyone that's never had ownership, and I grew up with home ownership. I grew up with a family had ownership. I grew up with a family that owned their own business. And so I was like, well, where's the, give home ownership. So I started working with people with home ownership because I always knew that that group of people, if I taught them to have home ownership, I will always have income. So that's how I generated my income consistently, by working with people that needed my help and that needed home ownership. So that's what I consistently did. I worked hard at them and taught them how to work their credit, how to not do this, how to not do that. I would do classes. I would sit them down. I wouldn't send them to these companies that fix my credit, because I always told them, you made the junk, you clean the junk. And that's what I did. And so that's what kept me going in this business. And it was really tough because the counseling part that I got from had to kick in along with the real estate. So the counseling part was helping people see stuff that they did not see through their parents. Because granted or not, I didn't see what I'm seeing through my parents or what all I have and what all I'm doing. But because of my parents showed us the entrepreneur part by up north, then it helped me put it all together. So it was like, okay, now this is what I'm going to do. And so that's what I stuck at. I was never the agent going, I want to go after the $600,000, $700,000 buyers because that's where most of my income, I'm going to get a lot more income. No, I'm the type of person, I have to crawl before I walk. So by crawling, it made me realize how much you can help someone else get ahead besides in the same aspect of helping yourself get ahead. And my clients always loved my son and they were always there for me. And they always look for it. And I still get calls today. Can you help us? Can you do that? And I still help people because I feel like home ownership is a blessing for everyone. And as long as it's continue to be a blessing, then I want to be that blessing to everyone, no matter what. Yes, I don't have to be the one that be on the top, but I have to be the one to be consistent because I was brought up that consistency goes longer than being on top. And that's how my parents taught me that as long as you're consistent at what you're doing, you finish that race, then you will always be okay.
So all your deals are easy. Is that what you're
Oh,
saying?
no. When you work with first-time home buyers, of course, they're not going to be easy. You know, that's why I say it's hard working with first-time home buyers because you're dealing with a lot of stuff. You're dealing with people that don't understand their credit. You're dealing with people that don't have money. You're dealing with people that don't know where to go next and what to do. And the good thing about it, you're God in their eyes, because if you know more than them, guess what? They're gonna always be your clients.
Yeah.
The ones that know everything, guess what? They're kicking you in the butt because they think they know everything. So I enjoyed the fact of just being there. And that's why I always stayed in class behind class, education, education, education. Because the more education I had, the more I could teach my clients. And the more I shine I am to them. They're like, oh, gosh, Sharon. My clients said 10, 12, 15 years I put in houses, they still call me. And they still want to know what to do. And I'm fine with that because I always told them they are family. And I will continue to be there for them.
Okay.
And that is a wonderful way of looking at it when you're new. If you really are a good student in here and you do the classes and understand the business the way it needs to be, you're definitely more knowledgeable than a first timer. And you can look so much more professional to them. And it is harder with people that, you know, have been like they're managers of some big company or whatever. They're a little harder to sell on when you're new. So that's a great place to start.
Mm-hmm.
I decided I'm no good on the phone. Back in that day, I have a phone phobia that goes way back to when I was 5 years old on a party line. And
Wait a minute, 5 years old?
oh, I got in trouble on a party line.
Who knows what a party line is?
Oh,
Who has no idea what a party line
that
is?
old.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't know what a party line?
Party line is when you grow up and you have 4 other people who share the same line. So as a kid, you can hear people on the phone. They can hear you. It's an emergency. If you had an old lady that all she did was talk, your phone was never available.
Yeah.
I was on a party line. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So
Now you learned something. Okay.
So I decided I was better face to face, and that's
Mm.
why the open house routine became my gig.
Mhm.
And I got very consistent about choosing which houses I would hold open. And to look like the area expert, it's easier if it's your neighborhood. You know a lot more stuff than anybody else in there, especially coming from outside of the neighborhood. And one of the other little tricks I found to be really helpful, and I always invite you to follow up with us, find out what's coming soon from the other agents that do a lot of business in there. Call them up and find out, you know, do you have a house coming that looks like this or whatever? And so when they come in and they aren't a fit for the house you're in the open house, you already have some hints about some homes. You give them a street name, but maybe not the house number and some specs about it. Say, if you give me your information, I'll find out a little bit more about it. And when it's available, I'll make sure you're one of the first people to see it, even if it's not my listing. And that's a really cool thing to look like, you know, something no one else knows. And that's a reason for them to, you know, sign with you, give you contact information that's real. And I just was religious about those open houses because my mentor told me that's where you're going to keep going until you get enough business that you're too busy to do 3 a weekend. I had a tiger on my tail. It was 3 kids, needed to have house payment and all these things, taken care of. And there was no choice. I just didn't have anybody else to fall back on. I probably would have rather donated a kid or sold a kidney than move home with my parents.
I say donate a kid.
Donut, no
Wait a
donut.
minute.
She had 3
No,
kids. You only had 1. I mean, how hard can it
Right.
be? 1 kid.
Oh, if you knew. 1 is harder than those 3 because they
So-
got somebody to play with.
So I want you to hear that, right? 3 kids, there's no other option. She's all in on real estate, but it didn't happen right away.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. Well, I did cheat a little the first 2 years. I kept the bartending job at Safari, Texas on Friday and Saturday nights. And I was doing wedding coordinating because I was like, well, I can do that and not interfere with my real estate. And at least I got some income cash for groceries that I could count on. Then when I didn't need it for groceries, it became my marketing money. Sent out those newsletters every month that was dedicated cash funds to build my business. And it did start flowing. I realized I was meeting the same people at open houses over and over again. And I became that familiar face, willing to help. That come from contribution message that they taught me back then really worked. What can you do for them that no one else can do? Figure out what that looks like and be ready to share it. You may not get them as a client, but I actually had people that came out, didn't know the neighborhood well, were represented by an agent. And they said, we would really rather work with you because our agents from way up in Houston doesn't understand all the different school districts and the HOAs and POAs and CIAs in Pecan Grove. And I said, well, I'd be happy to talk to the agent, your agent for you. We worked out a referral. She says, oh, thank you. I was just worn out trying to help these people. So it was win-win-win, in my opinion. And that gave me that courage to offer that too. But the 3rd year, I feel like I really got serious traction and became very, very buyer heavy. But we teach that you need listings. You can manage so many more listings. And I was fearful because I was going up against someone who was quite heavy duty in the neighborhood, was a #1 clear agent at the time. So I just started following that agent, kind of seeing, well, what is she doing? Look up her listings, look up, anything I could find out about her, just kind of, okay, it's working for her. What can I do like her and then do better? And what do we call it? Success leaves clues. And I actually introduced myself to her. She was with another brokerage at the time and asked some advice about when do you need an assistant, all these things, because I knew she had one. Anyway, eventually I surpassed, and it was like history at that point. Just kind of, not that there's not enough business for everybody in there, but you do still like to feel like you're the choice for all the right reasons. The neighborhood, you have a great service model, and you're happy to serve people, and just kept working for
Who
me.
can name the agent? Not up here. Who can name the agent? I knew Pam was going to say it. I should have said besides Pam. Yeah, Marta Mohan was the agent that at the time had the market share in Pecan
And great
Grove.
businesswoman. I was
Sure.
happy to follow her
Yeah.
and she still is a fabulous businesswoman.
Yeah.
So,
She just doesn't own the market share in Pecan Grove.
not right
What
now.
happened, Marta? She's listening. Okay.
She's doing big business in
Yeah,
other places.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
hyper focused on
Yeah.
my neighborhood.
Yeah. Okay, I can go with this and I can go this in a lot of direct. Okay, but here let's talk. I didn't put this in the question. You drink the water that you sell, meaning you invest in real estate. You have how many homes?
I have a total of 7 now.
So, and you have how many?
10.
10. All right. So talk to us a little bit about investing and where you find opportunities and why.
So
Go ahead,
I'll jump
Kendra.
in there because the first one came because my mentor taught this class called Uncle Mike's Buckets of Money. Did you ever take that class, Pam?
Okay, I did.
Pretty cool. It's a 3-page how-to and suggestions on how to start your own real estate business. Rental business. And I figured out financially how my daughter needed to go to college. I looked at the math of what I was going to be paying for a stupid dorm room and have move her home and move her back and move her home and move her back. I was like, oh, that is not happening anymore. We are figuring something else out. And I was able to get a lender to help me get a home equity loan against the equity I had in my house. Turned around, paid cash for a condo in College Station. And we worked out where she would rent to all these people, and we actually made money, and she managed it for me for 3-4 years. Then I kept it for a while. But then I realized, ooh, I saw a house that was in Terra that was a disaster, and it was a really good deal. And I went to the banker and I asked to take the money out of that Canyon Creek house in College Station, took an equity loan and went and paid cash for that little thing over in Terra, paid $78,000 for it. It was one of those people that thought he knew what he was doing. Hard money loan, bought a foreclosure, got it 3/4 fixed up, but prepaid the contractors and they ran off with his money, had to borrow more money, thought he had it fixed, rented it to his sister-in-law who didn't pay rent for 3 months. Now he is in a mess. So I bought it, put about $5,000 in it to get it in working condition. That thing is worth $215,000 today, and it has cash flowed me $1,300 a month for 10 years. And that was just borrow money against my house, paid cash, borrowed money against that one, paid cash. So it was like big fish, medium, little fish.
Yep.
Baby shark.
Sounds like Monopoly.
Then it started coming where you'd get a seller that would call you, oh, my dad passed and relatives all over, and we're here cleaning out the house, and we want to know if you could help us sell this house. You go over and it's like, oh, cracks in all the walls, the carpet's a disaster. And it just looked like they were going to have to put some serious effort and money into this thing. And I told him, I said, this market's not really hot back then. I was like, you're going to have to do something to get this thing to sell if you're going to get any money at all. And they all looked at each other like, we just don't want to mess with this. Do you know anyone else? I was like, well, I'm actually interested, but let me show you what it would sell for fixed up. What do they call that? The adjusted reno value, ARV. In my opinion, because I showed you what I think it would sell for, and then we take the repairs off and then take my commission off. And this is what I'd offer you. That's not a really good investor, but I have a hard time stabbing people in the back or cutting them off at the knees when they called me to help. But it still was going to work for me because I knew I could get it fixed and I could turn around and rent it really quickly. And I fixed my properties up to A quality. So if I ever got in a pinch, I could turn around and sell that thing for top dollar in a hurry. And you get fewer phone calls. This 30-year-old dishwasher's not working. Can't flush the toilet. So, I fix it up so I'm getting fewer phone calls so I could self-manage and have it ready to sell. And those come infrequently, but I know when to jump on it.
Good.
Sorry.
That's good.
No,
It's all good stuff.
fine. Mine come from, I'm a cold caller. I'm a bold cold
That's
caller.
excellent.
So I believe in cold calling, talking to people, reeling them in, seeing what's going on, being their best friend, just whatever. And so mine came from, my first one I lived in, I bought it for $48,000 when I first moved to Texas. And it's now a rental property and I still own it. So it's now worth about about $190,000, $200,000. So it's a good, I make about $1,500 a month off of it. So it's a good rental flow. That was my first one. My second one, I was gonna do hard money and Kimber talked me out of it. So Kimber helped me out. So I did the hard money on it.
Well, I thought you were teaching her. She's
No,
teaching
she
you.
taught
Oh,
me
Okay,
on
okay,
this one.
okay, all right.
She taught me on this one. So she was the bank for me. I told her to be but no, so we worked together on that one, just helping me get started. And so that one I bought for $50,000. And now it's I rent it out for $1,500. It's gone up. When I first got it, it was 13 something. Now it's 1,500, and it's worth about 175. I do, and that came from a cold call. They actually had that one little pager from those investors that knock on your door. And the little man said, well, he was an older man. He had a long beard, kind of looked like Santa Claus, but he told me to sign right here. And I'm like, huh? And so I met him and his nephew, and I was, because the guy was like 95 years old. He was in a nursing home. So I met him and his nephew, and he said, yeah, he told me there was only worth 30,000. It had all kinds of foundation problems and this and that. So I was like, okay. So I looked at the house, and the house was a mess. I mean, there was a dead dog in it. There were some things, because when you go to buy houses, you'll be most surprised what you see in them. So I'm a vision person, so I could see beyond all that. So I said, well, I'll give you 50. So he said, well, what about this? I said, sir, that's not even a true contract. That was one of those contracts that they were trying to wing you down so they can sell it to someone else, to make money. They didn't really want your house. So I got him convinced of that. So I bought that house. And I think 3 of mine, I paid like 50,000 for them. So, and just recently I paid, I give people more than what, I'm like Kimmer, we try to give people what the house is worth. We don't try to rake nobody, because we just feel like that's not good business, and it comes back on you. So the best way to do it is because if you do it the right way, then you're gonna always gather and earn more money down the road.
So it's there's two things that you want to hear. I read this, right? Some people try to time the real estate market. You're never going to time it, right? Oh, I'm going to wait until an opportunity comes. No, your idea is to acquire real estate and then wait, right? The value went up because they held on to it. They made it cash flow and it made sense, right? I know people in California where they want to own real estate and they have to write a check each month to own it, but they still see the benefits long-term, right? We're still in Texas. For the most part, we don't have to write a check each month, meaning you're still collecting rent, you pay all your dues, and then you still owe money on it, not here. That's what makes it a great market.
Now, 2 of mine I got from listings. I walked in to do a listing appointment, and Gary Keller says you don't always look at your commission. You look at your investment. So I walked in, I did a listing appointment with them, and then after I did the listing appointment, told them what their house was worth. Then I said, well, will you sell it to me? And they said, yes. So I bought it.
That was last year.
That was the one I just bought last week.
And
so and the one I just bought 4 years ago.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you in that is when they say there's not opportunity in this market, no. Doesn't mean they're easy to find, like in different. You're not finding them for 50,000 anymore, but there's still always an opportunity in every market. Okay, so let's pivot a little bit. We're down to the last few minutes because we're going to do awards today. Where's this market going? What do you see?
Oh, wow.
It's leveling off. I had to talk to a seller, which I was like, oh my God, I don't even remember how to have these conversations. Like, it's 48 days on the market and we got to talk about that. And I was just like trying to brush up on my old scripts. And then of course, doing bigger research of what's going on in the zip code, not just that neighborhood. And he's actually, I told him, I said, 48 days on the market, you've had 22 unique showings plus all the open houses. We've had 3 offers. NAR says you're good. You're still in the market. They just haven't been the offers that worked for him. So he opted not to reduce. I still think he should reduce, but he would rather keep it the same and then just negotiate. I'm like, okay, cool. But what that did surprise me is I keep feeling like the market in Pecan Grove has doubled in 2 weeks as far as actives. Stuff is not selling as quick and they're still coming to the market. But in his category, there was still only 1.4 months of inventory, which I was very surprised at because he's in a higher price range. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I know it's slowing, normalizing. It's not slow by any stretch, but the buyers are already feeling it because I'm starting to get offers below list price, which hadn't seen that in a while either. And some of them are getting it because the sellers have made plans and they need to sell no matter what the market's doing. So I think it's going to keep going because of all the buyers that didn't get the houses that I sold earlier this year. And I'm purposely asking at every open house through my agents, are you currently looking for a home? And how long are you going to keep looking until you find? And they're like, there's no end in sight. No, we're not taking a break. We do know a lot of buyers have, but there's plenty of them out there that are still just actively looking for the one. So
I don't feel
my
that
opinion.
the market is, I think it's more or less, I don't think it's slowing down. I think that right now we're at that point where school's gone back. And usually when school goes back, this is where we get this little, oh, what's going on?
a little well.
Uh-huh. And so I feel like that probably around the end of September, end of October, we're gonna pick back up again. And I think that it may turn, you know, to being a a seller's market again. But then again is a lot of agents, like Kim was saying, a lot of agents are shutting down on us. Okay, because I think they couldn't find no houses for nobody. So they're like, well, these buyers are all going away. And that's what's the biggest thing. The buyers are going away. It's not that anything's changing. Everybody's got to the point to where, well, I done worked so hard. I done put in 20 offers and I'm tired. Well, you got to pick back up, guys, and get back out there because it hasn't stopped. You know, it's still rolling. You got to keep it rolling as well. So I just feel like we're going to even out. And once we even out, the prices are going to pretty much stay the same. You're going to get builders, which Kimmer and I was talking. Builders are now starting to give us BTSAs, Lennar being one of them. Okay.
That
Because
didn't
they
take
took-
them long, right?
Right. They finally realized who brings them business,
Yeah.
right? And then so that now they're trying to throw money at our face and, you know, go in there, negotiate and ask for more, especially with them. Okay. Especially with them.
But also back to that, have something for your buyers that is a come from contribution. Did you know that they've just extended the coming soon status on
Yeah.
MLS is now 21 days instead of 14? I take full advantage of that. And I'm getting calls from agents that are pretty savvy about trying to find something for their buyers. Are you? If you've got buyers that aren't finding what they're looking for, are you going and looking at coming soon statuses and calling those agents and finding out everything you can to be ready? Maybe you can even get a sneak peek. Use it.
It is.
No,
Yeah.
it's not, as long as you don't tell anyone that you can't go. I show it to anyone who wants to see it. I'm not saying it's just my people or my team. So.
All right,
if there's
what's
something different.
what's the one thing you want everybody to leave with?
Me?
Yeah, both of you.
Well, my biggest thing is that I want everybody to understand, just because Kim and I got started 20 years, 1 year for me and 15 for her.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
does
don't
not
agree.
does not mean that anything's pretty much changed that much as working hard. This is a hard working business. And whatever you put in it is what you get out of it. If you put nothing in, you get nothing out. And I think all of us grew up with that when our parents was bringing us up, when hard work pays off and a lot of education pays off. We do a lot of classes here in the office. There's a lot of room in here and you need to show up and play. If you don't show up and play, you go nowhere. And it's not because the fact is that we're standing here because of somebody threw it in our lap, because no, they didn't. We showed up and played, and we played hard, and we continue to play hard. And we will play hard until we get tired. And right now it is a harder business because the social media. I don't know social media. I don't, Kimber got a daughter. My son, he ain't doing nothing for me. I don't know social media. So I'm gonna start doing this from now on. Hey, because I don't know it. So that's where I'm growing with. I'm trying to grow mine with right now is the social media. So if you see me out there dancing and hollering and screaming, that's why. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to get business.
You're not afraid to fail and you're no jump in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would leave you with work hard and put a lot into it to get a lot out of it. Because it's a good, successful business as long as you work it.
Every market has an opportunity.
Mhm.
The crazy markets, the bad markets.
Yes.
And we have to remind ourselves when we're sitting there looking out, you're like, I don't have any closings for 90 days.
Right.
What am I gonna do? And always don't spend your money when it comes in.
Right.
Put it away until it got 90 days was my rule. I don't spend any of my commission until I got 90 days of bills then I can use what's left over, what's spilling out of that 90-day emergency cup, because I know I can get something in 90 days, even if it's just a lease. Do be conservative with your cash, because the market changed in 2 weeks, in my opinion, from hot to what? I was stunned at how different it was, and I hope it heats back up. I hope Sharon's right, but fall is always a little slower out in my neck of the woods.
Well, don't forget, everyone needs a place to live.
Yes,
If you can't sell it to them, you can rent it to them, and that's never going to change.
right.
And they're going to need agents, no matter what you hear on the function and the things you can go do it. I think people are more confused than ever.
Yeah,
Yes, and they need somebody to sit down. So learn and keep going. Okay,
exactly.
awesome, great
Keep
stuff.
it
We could go in for hours with those two. And Kimber didn't even make you cry with her story, because if she really told it, you'd jump in. All right, we're gonna jump into our awards, move fast and furious. Hang on.
All right,
We got Norman on the slide. All right, here we
here
go.
we go.
Fast and furious.
All right, we like to start with celebrating our top individuals for listed units. Jamie Castens was leading the way with 10 listings last month. Way to
Wow.
go, Jamie.
Yeah.
Leading the way, and then Sapna and Emily tied for second. So congratulations.
Way to
Sapna.
go. Second? Come on, Zavana, let's go. I just like messing with her. She's doing awesome. Good job.
Moving on to our teams, we had in first place the Diaz team with 6 listed units, and then tie for second place with the Ambassador Real Estate Group, which is Serena Chu, and the Burgess Group. Congratulations,
Third,
Mark.
way to go, Mark.
And then for our groups in first place, we have the Kimbra V team,
Way
the
to
fabulous
go.
Kimbra V with 6 units. Oh, well, she tied with a couple, but you know what? That's still.
We had your name first.
We
Because
had
you were
your
the
name
speaker. Yes.
And then we had Audra O'Neill tying for first, and the BNP team. I know I saw Pinky in here a little while ago. Congratulations for our first place groups. And then we had SIA group in second with 5 units, and then tied for third, we had the Mona Knows Homes team, the Cappy Stubbs team, and the investor group.
All right,
Congratulations.
way to go, Mona.
Way to go, Mona.
We just do this. Virtual,
Air
just because we got virtual high five. Okay.
All right, moving on to our listing volume. When you have the units, the volume follows. Jamie Castens in first place with 5.2 million in listed volume, followed by Laura Atkinson. Woo-hoo, Laura, with 2 million in listed volume. Third place, we got Sapna with 1.9 million.
Way to go,
Congratulations.
Sapna.
Fourth place, Emily Shepard with 965,000, and Sahar Khatib with 780. Congratulations. And for our teams, first place, we haven't seen this in our rankings recently. We have Rajesh and Nita Desai. They're a husband and wife team with us. They had 1.7 million in listed volume last month. Second place was the DS team with 1.6. The Day team, Linda and Mike with 1.2. The Burgess group, whoop, whoop, just shy of 1 million. And the Flores team, number 5 with 879.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Good work.
And then with our groups, we had BNP team rounding out our top group with 3.15 million. The Audra O'Neill team with 3.10 million.
Way to go, Pinky.
Woo!
Woo-hoo.
And then third place, Kimbra V team with 2.4 million.
go.
Congratulations, Kimbra. And the Cappy Stubbs team with 1.7 million. And the Mona Knows Homes team with 1.6. Congratulations.
Awesome. Good numbers.
Moving on to our closed units individuals. First place with 10 closed units as an individual, Sahar Khatib, followed by Sapna Patel with 7 units.
Wow,
Congratulations. And then we had a tie for third place with Joyce Castillo, Robbie Yansky, Ruhina Ahmed, and Brandy Zimos with 5.
5.
Congratulations.
Awesome.
I think it's Zymus. Is it Zymus? Brandy Zymus? Zymos?
Demos.
Zymus. Zemus.
We've messed it up so many times. I don't even know if she's saying it correctly.
I know.
Just kidding.
Brandy, call me. Okay, so we got our teams, the Ambassador Real Estate Group with 10 closed units, and the Diaz team also with 10, tied for
Awesome.
first place. Number 2, the Ya Real Estate team with Yuman and Azam. Whoop, whoop. Second place. with
He's not
4
slowing you
closed
down,
units.
right? Yeah.
And then we got the Flores team, the Real Estate Ross team, Sharon P. Realty Group, and the Marta Mohan team with 3. Congratulations.
Awesome,
Sharon.
awesome.
And then with our groups, we had the BN team with a whopping 25 closed units.
25.
Way to go, Pinky. That is
Just easy. They didn't even notice it.
And then we had second place with the Audra O'Neill team with 17. We had third place with the investor group with 14 closed units, 11 closed units for the SIA group, and the Mona Knows Homes team with 6 units.
6.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Good work. Good month.
And then we had our individuals with adjusted closed volume, adjusted meaning it's based on a 3% commission. So if you're given a kickback, that volume is adjusted downward. So here we go. First place, Sapna Patel.
Yeah,
with
Sapna,
2.96
first place.
million. Whoop, whoop. And she beat out Sahar Khatib by just like 20 grand. Sahar, you
But
were
it's
so
20
close,
more,
you
yes.
know, it counts.
Yeah.
Sahar, great job. You got second place. Robbie Yansky with third with 2.1 million. Nazneen Danani with 1.8 million. And Brandy Zymus with 1.6 million.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Our top teams, we have the Ambassador Real Estate Group, Serena Chu with 1.5 million. The Diaz team with 1.2 million. The Marta Mohan team with $1 million. The Sharon P. Realty Group with 782,000, and the day team, that's Linda and Mike J, with 730. Congratulations to our
Awesome.
top closed teams. And then with, like I said, with the units follows the volume in our groups, the BNP team, a whopping 8.4 million in adjusted closed volume.
Just
That's
a
1
month.
month.
That's 1 month. That's
That's
30
one.
days.
Followed by the Audra O'Neill team with 5.6 million. The investor group with 3.5 million, the SIA group with 2.2
There's
million,
Sandra. Woo, woo.
and
Good
the
job.
Kimbra V team with 1.9. Yay,
Hey,
Sandra, see you back there.
Good job,
Woo!
Kendra.
Awesome. And then moving on, this is one of
awesome.
my favorite awards is the Triple Crown Award. I know we got some slides on the side here. You can't see last pictures, but this is individual agents only. So teams and groups are not on this report. They must have 3 closings in a single month. So leases don't count. We had all these agents qualify here for this award. Ruhina Ahmed, Joyce Castillo, Sahar Khatib, LaShambra Ewing, Dana Hennigan, Tasha Hippolyte, Robbie Yansky, Jamie Castens, Denise McClarty, Sapna Patel, Lisa Roberts, Betty Serrano, Akil Burke, and Brandy Zemas.
Wow, Mom. This is good. It gets bigger each passing year and or month. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is really awesome. And then we like to celebrate our Kellerversaries. So these are agents that have been with us. They've chosen to continue doing real estate with us, and we are honored that they continue to choose to do business with us. Celebrating a year with Keller Williams, we have Zane Bati, Reno Dominguez, New Iram, Felicia Givens, Dominique Kay, she's on the Diaz team, Amber Koenig, Detra Pegues, Karen Smallwood, who was with us, gone, and then came back to us. Awesome. And then we have Quinn Vu. Celebrating 2 years, we have Sham Shali, Angela Robinson, Francisca Vierman. 3 years, we have Anna Castillo, Nita Desai, Chris Epstein, Kiara Estes, Adila Rashid, Aisha Wani. 4 years, we have Tunu Magwe, Harry Capers, Justin David Duffield, Dara Lyons, Nicole Calabrese. 5 years, Angela McDaniel. 6 years, Cassandra Como. 8 years, Clifford and Yashima Clark. 9 years, Donna Jensen, who's on the Kimbra V team. Also Gary Zhang, 9 years. And then 15 years, Tony Duckett, Billy Kuhn, and 19 years, Charlotte Fierno.
Awesome. Awesome.
It is an
That's
honor
great.
and a privilege.
All right, we're going to run through this and get to it. We're
All
almost
right.
done.
First listings. These are individual agents. Akash Lula. Congratulations.
Yes.
Lenita Welch.
Awesome.
Shamsha Ali as an individual agent. She had her first listing. Stacy Lewis
Awesome.
and Tyranika Jones.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Love it when you get your first listing.
And then it's even more exciting when you sell them. So here you go. First closings. We have Alec Espinoza, Daniel Stein, Joanne Benavente, Zandra Boot, and Rigoberto Mata. Congratulations.
Awesome.
And of course, we like to celebrate our cappers. These are all the agents that capped with us last month. We have Paul Wash.
Awesome, Paul. First time, right? Correct. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
Akil Verk,
Good job, Akil.
Bernadette James, and Joanna Grenader.
Awesome. Okay, good job. She does a pretty good job with the pronunciation of names, right? That's why you get leverage. When you can't pronounce names, you get somebody who can do it better than you.
And if I don't
Awesome.
pronounce it right, let me know.
All right. Our vendor partners, come on up. Let's rock and roll. You guys can all come up together. I mean, you take like 30 seconds of your time because you take so long to walk up here. All
Chad,
right, go ahead.
Chad,
Look at,
Chad called me this morning to make sure that it was okay if he wore the shirt. I was up earlier though. My decision. The government is putting out a real big effort to help some less qualified people qualify for home loans. So there was some good news that just recently came out. As you all know, we use underwriting systems. There's one of the primary is Loan Prospector, also known as LP. The other one is DU, Desktop Underwriter. So Desktop Underwriter in their computer model, when they consider an approval for a potential buyer, the talk is that they are going to put some emphasis on their rental history. Okay. So some of the criteria for you brand new agents, some of you that are working with first-time home buyers, is that these people, in order to qualify, we've got to be able to show a verification of asset. And a verification would mean written documentation, bank statements, proving that these people are making rental payments. We may also have to follow up with a verification of rental with the landlord, the person that owns the property, verify it's been made on time. But this is something that is going to be used into the calculations in the computer system to say that if they have a spotless 12-month rental history, it may mean the difference in them getting an approval versus a denial. Okay. Secondly, one other thing that's come into play now is that they are going to average. This is unheard of. Take a lower credit score of a borrower and the second borrower's middle credit score and average those scores together to help that person qualify. So I'll give you an example. If a person had a 619 middle credit score, but the other person had a 693 middle credit score, their average credit score is in the 650s. That is a difference in qualifying versus not qualifying. This is huge. It's going to help a lot more buyers qualify for loans because now we're basing the qualification on a 650 plus credit score versus below 620. Credit is still risk-based. Interest rates, the mortgage insurance, and maybe the down payment requirements will be based on the lower of the two credit scores, but this is a potential increase on the number of buyers that are going to qualify. Please get with me. There's some more criteria on this, and I've got a list of it, but I want to be able to give this to you. Thank you.
okay, awesome. Good stuff. All right. Lion. Oh, you got a guest speaker. It's hot. Come on, Savannah. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know if everybody knows her, but she always comes to every single meeting and tells us about this Reliant deal. So I had tried using her, and I think the person ended up having so many questions, but over time, we have developed a system. I group text her and the client, and it's become really easy. And when they don't respond to her, she goes, "They're not responding to me. They have to respond." So then I send them a message and they're like, "Oh, but she's calling me all the time and I don't know what she's saying." So I kind of developed a system with her. Hey, just slow down a little bit and just send them something on email. And we have now done many deals together, right? Yeah. And electricity too. I didn't even know this, but she sells, no, not home security. She also sells home security.
Yeah.
Yes.
That one.
Okay, so remember on your electricity, if you do not have Reliant and you want to get a quote, great time to quote out your electricity, right? To lower it.
Yeah.
Start with your own, see the process. That way you feel comfortable giving it to your clients.
Yeah.
If they want to get a hold of you, how do they do it?
Text me,
Yeah.
call me.
Okay.
Email her.
And
Yes.
agent get 5% off too. Okay. And also we give you the loan.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Sopana.
She
No
gave me a
hits.
lot of
Yes,
referrals.
awesome. All right. Patent title,
Hi,
AKA
guys.
formerly known as celebrity. Go ahead.
Yes. Hi, guys. So I have three things. One, I passed out, me and another helper passed out this great sheet that shows where Palm Agent, if you had Palm Agent, it's going away at the end of the month because patent title likes to do things more efficiently, and they liked apps that add value more than Palm Agent did. So we're gonna do title capture. Here's the 3 pages on what exactly it does. So you can do sell to net, seller multiple offers. You can also do marketing flyers. So like I just did a net sheet for Jack the other day, and you can send it right from, after you do the title quote, you can send it right from the app. And then it's not actually an app, it's a website, but once you like log in and get all the information, you can put it on your home screen. So whether you have Apple or Android, there's a way to put it on your home screen. That's number 1. Number 2, with school going back into session and COVID cases going up, we are wearing masks downstairs, and we are only allowing buyers and sellers to sign right now. Number 3 is my what? Real estate fun fact. The US Supreme Court building has a basketball court on the top floor known as the highest court in the land. For real. I looked it up to make sure, because I don't want to give you like fun facts that aren't real.
She looked it up on the internet and it's true.
It's true.
It's on there.
Hey, the internet don't lie. Except when it comes from me. Don't Google me, because
All right.
they're lying.
Awesome. All right. Got Goosehead Insurance,
Yes.
but you're not Sydney. You're a lot better than that.
Sydney,
Yes.
obviously.
Come on up.
Yes, no. My name is Aiden Kohler, and yes, I'm an independent insurance broker with Goosehead Insurance. We are the #1 agency in Texas. And yeah, so basically just how I can help you guys out is I can be your biggest cheerleader on social media, repost, like, comment, all of that, get your name out there. I also can get a binder generated for your clients in less than an hour. We are very efficient. We work with a rater, so I get the cheapest and most effective insurance for your clients. You're working so hard to get them their home. I'm going to work really hard to protect that home. I don't want all that work to go to nothing, So yeah, and then what you can do for me, refer me to your clients. I'm hungry in this game. I know that you are. Congratulations again on doing so well last month. I know this month is going to be just as good, if not better. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We also actually just launched a digital agent. And so I can send out a mass email with my link. It's super easy. Your client just plugs in their name, phone number, and the address, and it will send them to the best insurance carrier for them. And then I call them and we finish it up.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for lunch as well. All right. Thank you guys for hanging on. Great month. Thank you for Kendra and Sharon. If you want to dig into more, great story of perseverance, determination, and still at it. They're never going to retire, right? They'll be doing this for the rest of their life. Okay. You're supposed to nod to that and say yes. Okay. Thank you guys so much for enjoy some lunch if you're here, and we'll see you soon.